welcome to another explosive episode of the Start Thinking Forward Morning Motivational Show. I'm your host, Brandon L. Draper, and you can check me out on Instagram at The Real Motivational King. I'm excited that you decided to rise above the noise and tune into this positive vibration of intellectual content. I don't take it lightly, though, that you're here. And in order for us to continue to give you nonstop, impactful content, I need your help. So hit that like button and subscribe to whatever platform that you're listening to this podcast on. And most importantly, share this message of hope and inspiration. With that being said, let's get on with the show.
Tell me if I got it wrong, but you don't wanna be alone. Spend the evening by yourself, but you'll miss me when it's getting late. Got it all, babe, say vamps when you're ready. I'm here when you need me, I'm yours if you'll let me. Got it all, babe, say vamps when you're ready. I'm here when you need me, I'm yours if you let go. But it won't end. You are never true to heart. You need me when it's getting dark. Got it all, babe, say vamps when you're ready. I'm here when you need me, I'm yours if you let me. Got it all, babe, say vamps when you're ready. I'm here when you need me, I'm yours if you let go.
This podcast is brought to you from our sponsors. Hey guys, if you have not heard about Anchor, it's a free way to make a podcast anywhere and at any time. And guess what? It's free 99. There are all types of built-in creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you so you can be heard on a multitude of platforms like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more. Now, I know what you may be thinking, but Brandon, why in the world would I create a podcast? Okay, so let me tell you. First of all, it starts with an M and it ends with a Y. It's called money. So why would you be asking me why you don't want to make money? Yes, I said it because you can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. So there you go. Stop thinking about it and just download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. I did, and so can you. All right, guys, we're going to dive right into today's show. It's a continuation of yesterday's morning show, the 12 Start Thinking Forward tips to starting your business. Yesterday, we left off at part 7, and it was talking about financing your business. So we're going to pick right up at that point. But before that, I want to share a story with you today. And the story is about understanding. A shop owner placed a sign above his door that said, "Puppies for sale." Signs like this always have a way of attracting young children. And to no surprise, a boy saw the sign and approached the owner. He replied, "How much are you going to sell your puppies for?" he asked. The store owner replied, "Anywhere from $30 to $50. The little boy pulled out some change from his pocket. "I have $2.37, he said. "Can I please look at them?" The shop owner smiled and whistled. Out of the kennel came Lady, who ran down the aisles of this shop, followed by 5 teeny tiny balls of fur. One puppy was lagging considerably behind, and immediately the little boy signaled out this lagging, limping puppy and said, "What's wrong with this little dog?" The shop owner explained that the veterinarian had examined the little puppy, and he had discovered it didn't have a hip socket. It would always limp. It's always going to be lame. The little boy became excited. "That is the puppy that I want to buy." The shop owner said, "No. You don't want to buy that little dog. If you really want him, I'll just give him to you." The little boy got quite upset. He looked straight into the store owner's eyes, pointing his finger and said, "I don't want you to give him to me. That little dog is worth every bit as much as all the other dogs, and I'll pay full price. In fact, I'll give you $2.37 now and 50 cents a month until I have him paid for." The shop owner countered, "You really don't want to buy this little dog. He is never going to be able to run and jump and play with you like the other puppies could." To his surprise, the little boy reached down and rolled up his pants leg to reveal a badly twisted, crippled left leg supported by a big metal brace. He looked up at the shop owner and softly replied, "Well, I don't run so well myself, and the little puppy will need someone who understands." Sometimes it just takes a little bit of understanding. So we have to understand ourselves. We have to try our best to understand others. And in a business climate, you have to understand your business and the business that you're getting yourself into. So we're going to start off with where we started from yesterday, and that was financing your business. Now, there are a ton of different ways and different resources that you can fund your business. Now, it's easy to talk about these things and tell you step by step what you need to do. But in all honesty, doing these things that we're talking about is where most people find it more difficult to do. And the reason being is because they just don't have enough confidence yet to know exactly how to approach the situation. What should they wear? Little things that people use that stop them. I don't know what I should wear to go to a meeting where I'm trying to pitch. I don't know how to even develop a pitch. What is it that I need to do? But there are a ton of ways and resources that are available to you when it comes to starting up your business. One of the first things you can use are what we call angel investors, right? And I'm going to talk a little bit about that, so I don't want to jump on that, but there are such things as angel investors. So the first thing is you could fund your startup yourself, right? And this is this is the way, and there's all kind of creative ways on how to do this. One of the campaigns that we're getting ready to implement is the wristband merchandise that you can use to fund your business. And that's the part of what we call bootstrapping your way. For instance, there's different funnel systems, and I'm not going to drop any names, but there's different funnel systems that teach you systematic ways on how to build a profitable funnel, meaning that you deploy this funnel, you send marketing to it, you make sales. People do that all the time for different product or services that they may offer, and they're able to create income that's going to allow them to be able to fund their project in the event that you may be, developing a new concept that no one really understands and don't see the validity or the marketplace value of that at that point. So they're not willing to invest in your idea. Does that mean your idea is not feasible? Does it mean that it doesn't work? Does it mean that it's not a good idea? No, it means the complete opposite. It could be the best idea, but people just don't understand it. So if you're able to be the first one to market with it, and you're able to self-fund yourself, now you're ahead of a whole lot of other people. So whenever your competition finally decides to come on board, there's not really a community that's really built upon that except for you. So then you're able to construct that community because you were the first one to market. And that might be a concept that most likely you're going to have to fund yourself. So coming up with creative ideas on how to do that, wristband, merchandise, podcasting, whatever. Creatively, this is when innovation comes in. You have to be innovative to come up with different strategies and ideas. The old way of doing things are not necessarily the best practices today. And so we want to talk about some things that you may have heard of or may not have heard of, right? Pitch your needs to friends and family. Now, some people might be listening to this, may be burnt out with friends and family. Some people have been in network marketing companies, and out of all 50 companies that they were a part of, they sold their family on all 50 of the products or services that company offered. So, family, when it comes to business with them, family really don't want to hear it. They were on auto ships. They were on this plan, that plan. They got a bunch of stuff that they probably still got in their basement or attic somewhere that they haven't used. So, but you still want to use your reference, use your friends and family, right? And sometimes it's very hard to separate business, from personal, but at the same time, those are people that has interest in you being successful. So there's nothing wrong with pitching your needs to friends and families and constructing it in a way that can be, advantageous for all parties involved. But you don't want to leave that on the table if that's something you have available. Some people don't come from a background where they can go to family and get money. Some people, they're trying to raise money to be able to take care of their family the way in which they need. So I completely understand that. So if that's available to you, try, use it. If it's not available to you, once again, it's that power of the broke. What can you do to be resourceful? And that comes back to the merch, where you can get wristbands for a couple of cents per wristband and start a campaign, because people love those wristbands that they got text on it and motivational messages. You sell those things for $5 a pop, and you might have only paid less than 10 cents per each wristbands. That's a hellified return on investment. The number 3 thing under finance is request a small business grant. There's a multitude of places you can go. I would suggest people go to grants.gov and use that resources to find out, maybe in your particular niche, there are grants available for your business, right? And that goes for profit and nonprofit. There might be grants that's out there just for your business, especially if you are niche specific, like you went and specified a particular niche. You might be surprised that there might be a grant for your business. Once again, these things take time. It's a longer process. It's not going to be you do it today and 2 weeks later you get an answer. It could be months, and in some cases it could be a year, right? So you have to be very mindful of those things when you're trying to finance your business, that may be a long game approach. Hey, let's approach that. Let's get on board with that now. Let's go ahead and sort that out right now. Get all the information we need. Go ahead and apply for that. But that we understand that may be a year from now, but we have to still be concerned on our financial perspectives now. But that's a long game. So when we get to that point, if that goes through, then we're in a better situation as long as we're able to tie all the loose ends and everything in between that, period, right? So requesting a small business grant. All right, start a crowdfunding campaign. And for those that don't know what crowdfunding is, but crowdfunding is basically a platform where it's basically person-to-person giving, right? I'm able to see a cause that you may be a part of, or something that you want to do, medical. I mean, people have crowdfunding for a multitude of different things, real estate projects, building additions, a mural. People just come over to crowdfunding and they promote it and get people to give money to their cause. Right. And then the platform that does it, obviously they get a fee for receiving the money and then sending it on to you. Right. So that's crowdfunding. So that's a new thing that is evolved in this climate, this technology climate that we have right now, is that if you have an idea, you can go straight to market and say, here's my idea, here's my pitch, here's my video of what we want to do. And if you give us the money to do this, we're able to do X, Y, Z. And in the process, we're going to give you some merch. And when I say merch, it's just, okay, if you're older listening to this, that's a new way of saying merchandise, merch. So you're selling your merch, right? You're selling t-shirts and everything to support your brand in this crowdfunding. So you're giving it to them based upon a support level that they give you. Now you have operating expenses, you have acquisition expense. So that's a new way of raising money where you don't have to be sitting in a high pressured meeting. You can come on, get some people that know how to do some video editing, shoot some video, get someone that knows how to copyright, meaning good description about what it is you're doing, how you're going to do it, shoot a video. And next thing you know, you got people that want to be a part of your mission. Number one, they get to be a part of it. Number two, you're giving them something in return, t-shirts saying that they supported this thing, whatever the case may be. But it's another creative way on how you can raise money for your business, profit and nonprofit companies, right? Next thing is apply to local angel investors. There's a multitude of investors in your local city. Look it up. This is simply, Google. So people, I didn't know. Google it, right? Google it, YouTube it. You're listening to this podcast. Don't let a lack of information be the deciding factor of your success, right? And before we move on to the next one, real quick, I actually want to say this, like today, we're only going to be able to do 7, 8, and 9 because it's long, and I want to make sure that I'm able to really, really enrich you with information and not rush it. Yesterday, I felt like I kind of rushed through it. I wasn't able to hit every single detail. And today, I want to take the time because there's people that are wanting to start their business and they don't know how to do it. So we want to talk about that today. We want to talk about how you can start your business, right? Next thing is solicit venture capitals. Venture capitals look for usually big opportunities. Now, if you have a very large, scalable project that can scale real fast, like think about venture capitals that came on board for Uber and Facebook because they seen a bigger value. But in order for them to see that value, it had to be pitched to them a certain way. So understanding that you have to know your idea, you have to know yourself, you have to know the capabilities of your organization, meaning your team. Who have you solicited? I've seen this so many times where a nonprofit, because they don't want other people to have control of the organization, or they feel as if someone's going to have control of the organization, they put blanket names and people in positions, people that they know, family members that they control. So basically, they ultimately control their organization. But you're really not helping yourself there, right? Because a part of you building your board, and I'm speaking in the nonprofit sector right now, right? So as a nonprofit, your board is not only going to be there to be able to make the right decisions in organizations, but they have connections with the community. And that connection allows money to still be able to come into the organization. So you don't want to haphazardly put together a board of directors just for the sake of saying I got a board of directors, or picking the minimum amount of officers you need in order to start your organization, which is, obviously your president, CEO, your treasurer, and your secretary. Like, come on, you need to, up your ante a little bit and actually start putting strategic partners into your organization that's going to be able to yield the value that they're going to give value to the organization. The organization will be able to give value to them, and they're able to give value to the organization by connecting them to other members in the community to be a part of your business and nonprofit. And the same thing for a for-profit. If you're a for-profit company that may be looking at a perspective of going public, and you're looking for validation, you're looking for all these things, you want to start building relationships with other people that can align with you and help you come up with capital that you may need to do the marketing to make your validation higher, that you need to have other partners at the table with you building this company that have connections in the community and could connect and spread, the buzz about what's going on and how your company that you're creating as a disruptor. These are all the things that go into the finance that they don't teach in business school, right? This is what happens in real business. So the things that you traditionally learn in a class about financing may not be what you're hearing right now, because times have changed, technologies have changed, and the way of implementation in deploying these things are quite different than they were just 5 years ago. And don't go back 10 years ago, a whole decade. It was unheard of. So take those things into consideration. The next thing is join a startup incubator or accelerator. These are places within your city, especially if you're in a major city, right? Or maybe you're not too far from a major city. Or in some of these incubators, even if you cannot visit them in person and you're a good distance away, they have an online portal where when they have events and things, you're able to stream in on those things. Or maybe there's not one in your local area. You might have to go to another state, and be able to stream or hear some of the things that's going on. The only thing you're trying to do at this point is get exposure, because the exposure and ideas that other people may have may be able to enlighten you, right? So real quick, I know we're going to get ready to go to a real quick commercial break. And when we come back, we're going to dive right back into this. We're going to pick up right there with joining the startup incubator and accelerator, because we're going to talk a little bit about how important that is to be around like-minded people. So when we come back off this commercial break, we're going to dive right into that. Be right back. Don't go nowhere. All right, we're back from that commercial break, and we're going to dive right back into it. And where we left off at, we were talking about how to join, why you should join a startup incubator or accelerator in your city, because these things are designed to help, new startup businesses to get all your ducks in a row. You want to start off strong, and you want to be able to get as many different resources available to you. That's going to give you an advantage. Is just a slight edge. Anything that you can do to empower yourself to get a slight edge. There's a lot of things when it comes to business that is not in direct circulation. You have to be in a particular circle. You have to be in a particular crowd to be able to get access, right? To be privy to hear that information that can later empower you, because you know how to be able to move and position yourself in ways to win. So it's very important for you to be a part of that. 8 is, I've talked about that yesterday, negotiate in advance from a strategic partner or customer, right? If somebody wants your product or service bad enough to pay for it, there's a chance they want it bad enough to fund it as well. So you never know who may be in your client base or someone that would purchase your products or services that may also have capital to invest. If they like it, they're thrilled about it, they have money, they may not even know the opportunity exists for them to be able to fund your business. So now you're able to partner with someone that already knows the product or service. They're familiar with it, they're in love with it, and they know that other people would feel the same way. Therefore, they're willing to invest their time and resources in it, right? So that's another strategy of funding, right? 9, we're going to talk about trade equity or service for startup help. For example, you could support a computer system for office tenants in exchange for free office space. You might not get paid for this, but you won't have to pay for the office. There's all types of things that you can do. You could do marketing for an office, right? Let's just say there's a community office, and we know there's a multitude of different companies, and I don't want to mention any company's name. I'm not endorsing anyone, but there's companies that allow co-working spots. So what if you were an entrepreneur, you needed a spot, a professional spot to potentially meet with clients, and you may not have the money right now. So when you lack resources, you have to get resourceful, but you're real good at social media marketing, you're real good at SEO, you're real good at Google ads, right? Now you can go there and say, hey, I want to barter my services for a office. I want to barter my service for XYZ. They see, hey, you're legitimate, you know what you're doing, you're capable of it. Okay, we're going to give you, office number B, you got that office, and we're just swapping the service out, right? Now, you did not have the money, because oftentimes people say, well, I can't do it because I don't have the money. In that situation, you did not have the money, but you negotiated your way into it, right? Because maybe you've seen that, hey, your social media sucks. You know how many people you can get for events if you were to learn how to promote an event on social media? Hey, I can show you how we can create an ad or a video that people can see this just in our local city. Just imagine if we got 10,000 people to see this. They wanted to do it, but they never had someone to come to the table. Now you have the skills to do it, but you don't have the money to get an office space. So now you're able to barter. So these are ways on how you can build capital, right? In nonprofit, they call it like in kind, where, I may not be able to give you money, but I can, if I'm a computer shop, I can give you an in-kind donation of a computer system, maybe some monitors that we're no longer using, or maybe various different things as an in-kind donation, right? In-kind can also be my time. I can come in and do services, but still build the nonprofit, but technically don't build them. I'm doing an in-kind donation of my time, because it may typically, I may charge $10,000. I may charge $20,000 for a speaking engagement. But now, because this is a nonprofit organization and I want to be a part of this, and I can write it off. So now it becomes a donation. I donated my time and resources that I normally would charge. Now I'm giving that to them, right, as a gift to allow that nonprofit to be able to give a good event that they could in turn make money off of. I'm not out of anything. I'm not losing anything in the organization. grows, right? But, and I mean, there's a multitude of things, but a part of that is negotiation. I've seen situations where the person, in kind, the donation, but still wanted money for the event. I was like, I can't tell anyone what to do, but it's a part of it is allow the organization to make some money as well, unless, and there's some other things, but that's a part of the negotiation there, right? The next thing is see a bank or a credit union. And I know this is part of the ones that are the last, because, even when it comes to investors or getting any type of money, bank traditionally gives you the money. They don't have control over your business, right? They expect payment, whatever the terms of the contract. If you fulfill that, you won't really have any trouble out of your bank, right? But when, some of the other things we're talking about, having partners and joint ventures and stuff like that, these people have more of a say of the ins and outs and the day-to-day of the business, because they have a lot of what we call equitable interest in the success of the business. So there's a trade-offs. If you have a great idea, for a fact the idea cannot come to fruition without you getting other people to help fund it, then by all means, you're going to have to get other people to fund it. Like that's a part of that planning, strategic planning, to position yourself, right? You're thinking this out and you realize, like, in order for me to get this to where it needs to be, the most cost-effective way to do it, I'm going to need other people at the table. And then, you make that trade-off, because there's just going to be certain things you're going to have to concede over to your other partners now, because they have equitable interests in your business. So those are things that you have to consider. So if you're not interested in giving people control, then it can be harder for your business. I'm telling you from not what someone told me, but from experience, because when you have something good, you have a great idea, you're not really looking for funding. It's just a matter of time. It's going to work out. It's going to play. It's just going a little bit slower than I care for, but it's going to be success with or without any involvement of a third party. So if I don't have to bring a third party into it, why would I? Because I don't want to relinquish unnecessary control. Now, if it gets to a point that certain systems and things need to be built out a certain way, now I'm interested in having a conversation with someone that could potentially bring capital in my business, is going to allow to be able to quadruple our results. That's when it makes sense. But when I can do that on my own, it may not be as fast as I want, but I can do it, and I know what the end success is going to be. Why would I just accelerate that a little bit? But I'm going to accelerate it. I'm going to get exactly where I was already going to get to, but now I have a partner that's going to potentially anchor me down, because now that person is invested in my business. If they don't agree with something that I think, now we're at odds and there's a problem there. I could have not created that problem just by toughing it out. Now, for everyone, that may not be the situation. You're like, well, I can't tough it out no more. I got to get partners to the table. By all means, do that, right? Don't, you got to do what you got to do based on your situation and what's going on. These are just suggestions based on experiences that I've had dealing with certain business transactions in deals. Hey, you can come over here and make this money right now, right? And you blow up. And, we've seen it before where people start their own shows, they get syndicated, quote unquote. And then the next thing you know, they make someone upset and now their show's gone off TV or their talk show, so I rather be at the bottom and build my stuff up organically. Same place you want to, and own your audience, know exactly who you're talking to, right? And that goes out to my people in Australia that's listening. I appreciate you guys. People in Ireland, appreciate you. United Kingdom and Germany, right? So I want to shout out to you guys, everyone in the U.S., I'm here in the U.S. based, but I want to shout out to everyone that supports, what it is that we do here of inspiration, motivation, and insight to real life in the trenches, what I went through during my experience of business and what it takes to actually create a successful business, right? And some people disagree even with that and say, well, it all depends on what you consider to be successful. And my words would be exactly, right? Your level of success, what does success look like to you is what matters the most. Doesn't matter what my level of success, because my level of success is based on my perception, based on my values and what I want to have, what I dream of, my innermost thoughts. The same thing as yours, right? So what brings you success? What brings you happiness, right? It's maybe not $1 million in the bank. Maybe it's not even a whole lot of money, just maybe enough money for you to be financially free, that you can do the things you want to do. But you don't care to be a millionaire. You just want to be financially free. And that number may look different than for someone else's number. That's okay, right? So let's move on to number 8. Develop your product or service, right? After you put all this work in and you're starting your business and you're going to feel awesome, but the idea, there's some things that you got to take into consideration, right? Number 1, right? Retain control of your product and learn constantly, right? We just kind of talked about that in the previous conversation we just had, right? If you leave the development up to someone else or another firm without supervising, you might get a thing that you did not envision. One of the things I like about Jeff Bezos with Amazon is that they reverse engineer things, right? They start with the customer and work backwards, right? Start with the customer, the client, right? You don't, once I'm going back to the idea that, yeah, you can do all these things. You can raise money, just in the third, but at the end of the day, you can create your money. If you have a great idea and you know how to effectively communicate that, right? And if you don't know how to effectively communicate, it's okay. You can find someone that knows how to. You don't know how to copyright, you can find someone to do it. This is part of that development. You can find someone to do everything you need in your business. All the things that you're weak, because guess what? You have an idea, but it's going to take a whole tribe. We're going to talk a little bit about that. I don't want to jump too ahead of that, but you're going to have to build a team, right? So you got to decide if you're going to retain control over, if you're going to be an intricate part of it. You want to be a part of it, right? 2, implement checks and balances to reduce the risk, right? How often are you checking to see things, that safety, if you're creating a product, is safety a priority, or is that a culture that's changed in your company since your new gained success? I call it checking the pulse of the company. I like to know what's going on. How's everyone doing? How what's going on in your life? I need to know those things because that's going to be able to help me understand the culture of the company and how it's developing, because the culture is created by the people that's in it, right? Next thing is hire specialists, not generalists, right? You cannot cut corners. And I can tell you, massive imperfect action is always going to trump this, right? If you are undecided or you're not as confident in exactly what you're doing, and for a fact, let's just say you're writing a book, you may not have had any formal education, you may not have any awards, you may have just went through a trauma, and you want to express that story with the world. Why can't you do that? You may not be the best writer in the world, but we can clean that up. We can make it better for you, right? We can clean up your language. You want to translate it, your book from another language. Maybe you're Chinese, Japanese. Maybe you have another language you speak. You might have wrote your book. You might be Italian, and now you need to get it translated to English, right? Why can't you do that? What's stopping you from doing that? Your belief that you don't know how to do it. Well, connect with people that do. That's the part. You wanna be able to hire specialists, people that know exactly what they're doing in that particular area that you need help. Not generalists, not someone that's good at a little bit of everything, right? Even a generalist has a concentration. They're specialized in something, right? That they're just a little better at it than most people, right? Next thing is, don't put all your eggs in one basket, right? And I'm talking about those that may be in the nonprofit. That's another thing. Don't rely on simply one funder. I think is the most ludicrous thing you can ever do. Why would you do that, right? Number one, You don't want any one entity to have that much control over you, because you should be not a bipartisan organization, right? You're not siding with anything. You're siding with the mission in which your business, your company was created on. That's your mission. So meaning that you want to be able to have funding from an assortment of people, that your mission is never influenced by another entity's agenda, right? Whatever their agenda is does not necessarily have to be your agenda when you're able to properly understand, how to spread your eggs out and make sure that you have different ways of raising money. Like if you're running a straight up business for profit, you might have your clothing line established, right? That might be completely unrelated to the business that you run, but why not? Why not create merch? Why not create merchandise? You're crazy if you're not doing it. Create your own shoes, right? Why not? Create your own hat, create your own brand, and these are things that you can do in print on demand, where you don't have to hold these things in-house. But if someone wants to buy it, why not? Why not give people the option to give them as many times to buy your brand, to be able to put your brand in front of them as many times? If they want to buy a shirt, let them buy a shirt, right? Let other people see your brand as many times as possible, right? So that's the point of not putting your eggs in all baskets. You might want to do merchandise, right? You may want to venture off in technology. You may want to create an app, right? It may be an app that's totally unrelated to your business. You may want to create a game. These things may be to you. You may think this unrelated to the business at hand, but these are things along the way. If you already need to create an app, why not create an app for yourself and find a profitable app that you could create for someone else that could solve a problem and they're willing to pay you? I'm just saying, right? In your business plan, in the way you're structuring your deal and negotiation, not only are you asking for money, but you're solving the problems for your industry. And along the way, you're able to solve problems for other people's industries, right? So now you have businesses within businesses, right? So you're taking social media, Facebook and everything. They're in the business of pictures and videos and stuff. They're in the business of information. They're selling information. They're making money off of information. So if you learn how to do that and how to structure yourself the right way, you're going to be able to do the same thing, because you're finding multiple ways of funding and raising money within your business. You have to be creative. You got to think outside of the box. And the next thing, most important thing, we're up to 9 and we get ready to close it out. All right, we're up to 9. 9 is start building your team. Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something. This is one of the most crucial things you need to do, because you cannot be everywhere, every time, all the time, right? So you have to be able to build a team that you trust. So number one, you have to communicate with your team. However you build your team, it could be friends, family, a group of people that have some things in common. You say, look, we all have the ability to do certain parts of this project. If this project comes together, right, it's worth $100 million. Each and every one of us, apart from each other, we can all make 30 to 40, 50,000 bucks, right? And you're having this conversation with your people, like, you can make 50,000, Jimmy. John, you're making 50,000. So-and-so, Brad, you're making 50,000, right? We're all making 50,000, right? We all know that if we don't even do this, we all can make 50,000. But if we can take 5 of us and split 100 million, would you be willing to put some sweat equity in this? Because we're going to split it up evenly. So we're all going to get parts of this. We're all going to get 20%. 20% of 100 million sounds better than 45, 50,000 a year. Right? So state your goals clearly. Make sure everyone understands your vision, especially if there's no money at the table at that time. Right? Some people don't want to follow because the money's not at the table and they miss an opportunity. Right? You wasn't thinking like the guy at Facebook that said, no, don't pay me for the mirror. Give me shares in the company. Give me stocks when you go public. That's how you pay me. And that's in the stocks that he got made him a millionaire. But he could have just got the $2,000 or whatever he charged him, which wasn't that much money, right? We're all getting stuck on getting. I need to get paid right now, right? I remember during the summer, I had a camera team of people, and some of it I'm being petty and messy, but I had a camera team that I vetted out. I said, hey guys, we're going to do this summer program. I even had people that said they're going to be part of the summer program. Let me tell you. So start the summer program. We were off by a couple of days. Some things happened. We had to move some dates to the left or the right. End of the day, no one showed up, right? No one showed up. My camera people showed up a couple of times. I was trying to figure out, hey, how are we going to do this money, just and the third, get them their money that they needed to do this. And before I knew it, disappear, stop coming. Hey, man, I'm not going to keep coming out there and not getting paid, because they didn't see the greater idea, the big scope of what we were trying to do, right? So understanding you can miss out on an opportunity by always being what they would call, for lack of words, money hungry, right? Look for opportunity, not always money. If you get the opportunity, the money's going to come. Stop, so build a team around that belief. Build a team. That's what's going to make your team strong. It's like we're not chasing just money. We're looking for opportunities, and opportunities lead to more money than we can just get right now in the moment. Think about the long game, not just the short game. So make sure you state your goals clearly, right? If you got some type of hiring protocols, right? How are you going to hire people? What type of people are you looking for? Are you looking for people that knows how to tell a joke, that can take a joke? Are you a tough boss? Do you need someone that has tough skin? What type of things are you going to build this organization? Because what if you get someone that doesn't like joking around, that doesn't take jokes well, that don't want you to talk and criticize them openly in front of their peers about their work? And you hire that person into a team that's accustomed to that, and they do it amongst themselves, and then they say something to that person, and now that person's upset because now you didn't take in consideration building your team on how everyone's going to interact with each other. Think about that for a second, right? So next thing is establish a strong company culture. What's your belief? What do you guys stand by? Is customer service a priority, or is it something secondary? I watch so many companies where customer service is definitely not second nature to them at all. They say they believe in customer service. They believe in this, but they do the complete opposite. And it always comes down to the money. So recently dealing with a company, and this company, they just blew. They just messed up major. And I said, hey, I no longer want to do business with you guys. I don't like the situation. Nothing against you. Wouldn't give you a negative review or anything. Never mention the company's name because I believe in supporting entrepreneurs, and we all make mistakes. But because we make mistakes doesn't mean that I still have to do business with you, right? So, hey, I'm no longer doing business with you guys. I'm sorry to hear the situation. Explain the situation in detail in the email, and then this is where customer service comes in. Instead of saying, all right, so sorry about it. Hopefully we can connect at another time, follow up, maybe a couple of months down the road, maybe a year. Hey, we miss you. We want to give you a special, we want to come back, blah, 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 whatever, right? None of that. Hey, just want to let you know, you might have done this, but we still got another month to build you. Even though we know you're not going to use it. See what customer service is? I know you're not coming back. So why would I build you? Why would I want to create that type of animosity amongst us? Do you think I want to pay them? I'm not going to go there, but I got to pay you as if I did, because that's a financial thing for you, right? Because you build it out so that you can know your projection for the month. Like, you got to give me at least a 30-day notice or whatever, so I know exactly. No. Right? So is the customer a priority, or is it you a priority? And that is what prevents some companies from growing, right? Won't talk bad about them, but that customer service first. If you messed up, take it that you messed up. Don't say, yeah, I know we messed up, but look at our terms and conditions. You still owe us. That's bull crap, right? That's not that customer service there, right? You want to build a team that understands that. To understand that's the culture that we're building here. We always put our customers first. If we messed up, let's take the hit. The customer never takes the hit. We take the hit. Now we'll learn from that mistake. Hey guys, I hope that empowered you today. We're going to continue. We got a couple of more. We got 10, 11, and 12. So tomorrow we're going to be talking about 10, finding a location for your business. If you're going to be in location or you're going to be online, but still, you're going to still have a location. Online, offline, whatever, you're going to have a location. Then we're going to be talking about start getting some sales, how you're going to start creating sales in your business, how you can start creating sales, right? Even if you haven't gotten all the capital you need, how you start putting out some products and services, what we call low-hanging fruit, and start getting some capital, some money coming in that you can start investing in other things in your business. And then 12, finding how to grow your business. All right, guys. So until tomorrow, I will talk to you then. Hello, all. Thank you for tuning in to another motivational show. I hope that you may have gained some insight from this show, but please don't forget to like and subscribe to this podcast to stay up to date with our daily dose of inspiration. And if you are a true risk taker and a fan of this show, please go to patreon.com/Creators United. That's Patreon, patreon.com/Creators United, right? And support our show and get some behind the scenes information on how you can empower yourself, your family, and your business to new heights. And if you want to connect, we are available 24/7. You can check us out online at www.pinnaclepointpublishing.com, and you can chat with us or send us an email, or you can send me a direct email at brandon@pinnaclepointpublishing.com, or even give us a call on the horn, as they say, at 1-866-222-3940. And until next time, I'll see you again.